now joined by financial expert Jeff LaBelle with this week's Market Wrap.
Well, we have a lot of earnings and economic news to cover today. Let's first recap the markets. This week, we have seen strong gains in the general market with the S&P reaching new 5-year highs. It seems as though the markets are now focusing on the fundamentals rather than economic policies. On Wall Street today, the Dow gained 53 points to close at 13,649. The S&P gained just under 5 to close at 1485, and the Nasdaq ended up flat, closing at 3134. And now stocks in the news. Dell Computer rose this week on rumors that the company may go private. Bloomberg News reported on Monday that Dell had discussed a potential sale with several private equity firms. Dell stock closed up just under 20% for the week. Big banks and financials were headlines this week with a slew of earnings. The banks have been the leader in the rally for 2012. JP Morgan reported strong growth in banking and asset management. The banking giant posted fourth quarter earnings, excluding items, of $1.39 per share versus estimates of $1.16. JP Morgan closed at $46.46. And the country's second largest bank, Bank of America, reported that their fourth quarter profit was down 60%, despite laying off 14,000 employees. Bank of America's profit dropped to $732 million in the fourth quarter versus $2 billion a year earlier. Bank of America closed at $11.14. And finally, in earnings, Goldman Sachs posted fourth quarter earnings that nearly tripled. The impressive profits were largely due to gains in stock and bond values as well as M&E revenues. Goldman ended up $3.44 to $1.44 per share. Now on the economic front, well, did your credit card get a workout during the holiday season? I know mine did. And it turns out we're not alone. Retail sales increased 0.5% from November to December. The Commerce Department said the increase was led by strong car sales, specialty clothing, and furniture sales. And we also have a bright spot for housing. U.S. home construction reached its fastest pace in 4.5 years. For 2012, builders started work on 780,000 homes. While that number shows a decisive rebound, it's still roughly half the number of starts consistent with healthier markets. Well, next week, I'll report more on earnings as well as other market-driving news. Until then, have a nice weekend. I'm Jeff LaBelle.